I've had a super busy week, I can tell you. And I would like to say it's all progress, but in fact, it's just attacks. And the media is coming full at us. What's absolutely hysterical, and I can't wait to tell you about it. Remember last week I had Global after me, and of course we got the back and forth going because their reporter Colin wants my neck. And he made a piece with this Dr. Pennycock, who's a behavior psychologist and at the University of Regina, except he's an assistant professor and he's not an accredited psychologist here in the province. In any case, he made this hit piece and he put it up on YouTube. And Global did a piece on No Masks last week, the hit piece. Well, we found the other piece last weekend. The two of them were made together for the same purpose. But then, guess who else had the footage? CTV! Yeah. They asked me for an interview yesterday, and I didn't get back to them because I don't snap. I was buried with concerns from members who are being bullied and intimidated. So, sorry, I didn't have time to respond to your pathetic little request. And it's really good to know what it was all about. And it was about the behavioral psychology. CTV wanted an interview with me about why I started No Masks SASK. And they'll never get an interview from me unless it's live. Ever. None of them. Because I'll never give you a chance to manipulate or mince my words. The media cannot be trusted. And in fact, they are now, and I've proven that they're working in tandem with the very same materials. The lack of integrity here is ridiculous. And quite honestly, they do nothing for us except try to rip us down and provide us with more ammunition. The media is in on it with this Agenda 2030 program we're under. We need to stop talking about CV because it has nothing to do with what's going on right now. It's just the cover. What we've got is the Agenda 2030 hustle. And they are making quick moves here with our democracy suspended under states of emergency to enact these goals where they couldn't have before. Because Agenda 2030 is global communism and global governance, and that's exactly where we're heading. And why I get a little impatient with people who aren't up with the program. We don't have time, my friends. That vaccine is on the way. And when I hear Donald Trump in the United States, and honestly, I don't listen to him for anything because he's in on it too. But when I hear him saying he's got the Operation Warp Speed is the vaccine, and they're talking months, this is the shift, and it's medical martial law. If they're doing it to the patriots in the United States, they're here. And they're already doing it in Australia and getting ready for all of that. We can see it happening around the world. And we need to get on top. Now, what is mind-blowing to me is the part that Black Lives Matter has in all of it. And how this organization has popped up here in Saskatchewan. Now, we didn't even have a movement. We didn't prior to these protests that were in the spring and that whole George Floyd rollout. It was a rollout. It wasn't passionate response. It was a marketing rollout, and I saw it. And in fact, here in Regina, they didn't even have a movement. I researched it. I did. I called bullshit right from the beginning. It started with the protest signs that I had footage sent to me. It was unions participating. You see, BLM markets their protesting through the unions, who are also part of their agenda. And of course, the unions are part and stakeholders in Agenda 2030. Now, of course, you can see that in the essential workers that came to the fore right away. And then, of course, all of these measures that had to be put in stores to protect the workers. We are venturing into global communism, my friends, and BLM, this foreign entity and known terror organization, is here in our province. Didn't have a movement before that protest. Last minute, free waters and masks for all. The highest NPA equipment. And I'm not going to draw the affiliation right now, but you guys know I know. Because I didn't see a power source for that PA system. Ridiculous. What is absolutely critical to know is I got a bomb this week dropped by one of our members, and her son at 11 years old, grade 6. This is week 2, 3 of school 2. And worksheets that he brought home. International Black Lives Matter. The police killing of an African American sparks global protests. These are worksheets, again, for an 11-year-old. So I'm going to take you through the questions just so you know what's in these schools. What inspired the creation of the group Black Lives Matter? The student didn't really know how to answer any of it. How and when did BLM become more predominant? Who was George Floyd? Which city did he live in? Briefly explain the circumstances surrounding Mr. Floyd's arrest and death. What actions were taken against? It's really kind of blurry. What actions were taken against the 4 police officers who were involved? How many people responded to Mr. Floyd's death? Explain. What changes do BLM demonstrators want to see happen? Explain why. Explain how some opponents describe BLM. Why are they opposed to the movement? Because you're a bunch of little terrorists? That's why. These are programming questions in the school right now. Programming these kids to this communist army of BLM. It's scary as hell. And all you have to do is go over to No Masks Saskatchewan. Go to our Instagram feed and you can see the BLM terrorism all over it. Everywhere. Now, just so you know, this week I got another one. Because I'm calling it out, I'm getting attacked hard. And it was an email attack where I've had I woke up to, I don't know how many again, emails that I had apparently subscribed my email to. And I'm just filming that all and getting it straight and documenting it right now. This is an onslaught. Now, that's just page 1. Let's go to page 2. Consider the following passage from the article. There is systemic racism in Canada, admitted Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who says this must end. Indigenous peoples, Black Canadians, and racialized Canadians are far more likely to suffer violence at the hands of authorities and police. Why would that be in school? What is your understanding of this passage? So, of course, asking those questions. Respond to the quote. What thoughts does it provoke? And what feelings does it evoke in you? From your perspective, what does the Government of Canada need to do to improve this situation? Many professional sports teams, athletes have begun to show their support for Black Lives Matter in various ways. Messaging on uniforms and taking the knee. As you see it, what impact do these athletes' actions have on society? What simple actions can you take to be part of this solution? Explain. This is a violent organization. I have received death threats, and I know damn well they're from BLM. It's all over them when I look into their comments. What is this garbage doing in Saskatchewan schools with 11-year-olds? And honestly, it explains the attack I've seen on Instagram. And again, the death threats, they keep coming. Lots of people wish I would die of a virus. Yeah. This is what is programming that hate. It's disgusting. And it's not Saskatchewan. This is a foreign force in our province operating under the ethers and promoting this new concept of common good in accordance with Agenda 2030. It's the teaching of bullying. Now, guess who else is teaching bullying? That is Safe Schools Saskatchewan. And teachers and their unions, yes, they're back. They're just taking a hit on No Masks SASK. And what they're doing is going in and screenshotting our members' passages and then using them as examples and hoping that they'll be attacked too, because, well, you'll come to that conclusion when I take you through it. One of our members contacted me, and the reason I don't have time to deal with the media and them trying to take another swipe is because I had to deal with our member who is pretty upset yesterday. Now, she was the second in 24 hours that I had that are being attacked right now because of posts they put in No Masks SASK. The offending material that she put was a commendation for her MLA in Saskatoon, who was acting human and actually had our back and her concerns. And she praised him. And this teacher, Jennifer, and I'm not going to say her last name because I have class. And I would never want to see anybody hurt. This is the type of nastiness that's going on, and I don't want to be part of that. But Jennifer posted, and you can go see it because she will not remove it. And she took it out on the MLA and dragged my member into it. She could have stroked out the member's name. She could have, and that would have been right. And actually the picture would have been right. That really would have been the right thing to do. But instead she decided to make sure she got dragged through the mud. And that's what happened, because now she's being threatened and intimidated. That's just wrong. In any case, this Jennifer is a setup. Now, I took her out as a troll. I believe it was right at the same time as the Instagram attack and the attack on the Facebook group. It was a double, sided, and there was me going, so seriously, I know all these players. So she also did a CBC interview as well, and brought, again, the member into it. And CBC tried to contact the member and hassle. In any case, this Jennifer was one of the trolls. She also was the subject of the CBC article because it's all a plant, because she's actually been involved before. They use her CBC. Yeah. Now, she was contacted to take it down and she won't. So the member went to the superintendent of Human Resources Technology, Greater Saskatoon Catholic School Division, Daryl Basilek. I'm going to say his last name because he's an official. But just so you know, the teacher, she's teaching grade 4. So she's actually has no problem that this is impacting my member this much. She has no care in the world. In any case, this Daryl sends her a message and says, nah, we've decided that she can say whatever she wants. So again, he is actually encouraging this too. When a woman has come to them and said, you are making my life hell, I am being bullied and intimidated. And they both are continuing on. Now, they shared this 7 times, 9 times. I can only see 2 of them because I had already blocked the rest of them out from the troll attack. This has been my life for a bit here. It shows, well, it shows that you're actually in agreement that bullying and intimidation is okay. And that tells me that kids aren't safe in school, particularly the grade 4 students of this Jennifer. These guys and these unions are actually sending these people in on hit squads. And these are all arranged interviews. And again, just track her down and you'll see she's attached to several of them with CBC. In any case, I think it's time to take the high road, everybody, because these are the tactics of China and what goes down in these foreign nations. This is Saskatchewan. Why is this foreign force infiltrating into our schools, into our lives? Why? Because it's Agenda 2030. That's why. And all of this policy, including the mask, are BLM issues. BLM is 100% behind the mask. They are the push behind the mask. BLM is a communist entity here to take over and teach these kids to be a communist army, to enact a cultural revolution so that your kids hate you. This is an absolute attack on conservative values and of the people of this great province. And that's why all of this has inspired me. The threats, seeing what's happening to these people who are just speaking up and speaking for their freedom. And a foreign entity has literally entered the scene and is taking out our democracy under these states of emergency. My friends were in trouble. And it's become clear to me that the only way out is out of the UN and out of those Agenda 2030 commitments. This is not our Saskatchewan, my friends. It's not. And we need independence from Agenda 2030. It's the only way out.